Thank you so much for having us today. Hey, چرخید. Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming.
Inshallah you always have mazal in your home. خونت همیشه باز باشه. برخایی داشته باشی. نامزدی بچه‌هات. انشالله زنده باشی 120 سال با شوهرت. سایتون سر بچه‌ها باشه. با سلامتی، با health، با abundance، با joy, togetherness. هر چیزی که دلت میخواد انشالله به راحتی برای خودت، برای بچه‌هات راهاشون باز باشه. هر راهی که دارن میرن انشالله دوستای خوب، آدمای خوب جلو پاشون باشه. بختای خوب براشون به راحتی جلو پاشون بیاد. and انشالله همه برخایی تو زندگی داشته باشی. Thank you so much for having us today.
Just give me one moment.
Of course. Oh. Thank you.
از طرف ما we love you, we treasure you.
Thank
تو
you.
یک سمبولی هستی برای ما.
I love you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My love. Thank you.
همیشه خیلی خوبی. میدونم که از زندگی بالاخره یه چیزایی میزنی که بتونی.
I love you. Thank you. This is an honor. It's an honor. It's an honor to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
همیشه پایدار و استوار باشی.
آمین هممون انشالله با هم دیگه. You all give me strength, so it works both ways. It works both ways. You give me strength, you give me joy, you give me energy. So us together, it gives me the force that I need to go forth. So thank you so much, Parvane Jan. I love you. Thank you. خیلی ممنون. Thank you.
هرچی میخوای خدا به خوبی.
Amen. Thank you. خیلی ممنون. Amen. So, you know, today is such an important example of what I'm going to talk about because چندین دفعه چرخید تا it happens to be today here. And then there is so much that we cannot control. You know, we cannot control the weather. We cannot control the circumstances, but we can set out to do what we can personally do. And the fact is that she did it, and she put out a beautiful table, and you are here, and many people had an intention of coming. Maybe the weather stopped them. So, but we have to know that we have to do our part. We do our part, and the rest will take care of itself. Absolutely. We do what we need to do. We appear, we are present for whatever it is that we need to do, and the rest will just take care of itself. We don't need to worry about how it comes to be or how it will happen or did it happen or this or that. That's really our mind chatter. The fact is that we are here, we appeared. She did a beautiful job. She made it happen. And the fact that the number of us are here is really because you made it happen. So thank you very much. And the fact also is that I wanted it to be today. I wanted it to be Monday because it's Rosh Chodesh today, and it has such an important significance that I really wanted us to gather on such a day. So it's Rosh Chodesh Iyar. با خطر نمیخوام شکل نیه بیت بارو. And to understand where we are at, the significance of the space where we are at, we need to know what happened about 3,300 years ago. First of all, any time that we come into, in Judaism, time, as I have said many times, it's not what I'm saying, it's what Judaism says. Time, as we know, is not linear. It doesn't come from point A to point Z. Time, rather, it's like a vortex that's moving ever upwardly. And when we reach a certain holiday or we reach a certain Rosh Chodesh, we are able to access, because we are on this vortex, we are able to access whatever that happened because we are exactly aligned to that. We are able to access whatever happened, whenever it happened, long ago, even if it's 10,000 years ago, and we are even able to access the future. So we are standing at this middle juncture that are able to access both the future and the past, and it can all come together. So what happened exactly on this day, 3,300 something years ago, when the Jewish people left Egypt? Does anybody know what happened today? Do you know? Anybody knows what happened today? Okay, so the Jewish people leave Egypt. On 7 days after they have left, they reach the Red Sea, where the Red Sea is opening. And then after the Red Sea, they start walking. They walk and walk according to the guidance of Hashem to Moshe Rabbeinu. He had a Waze system, and it was a godly Waze system, godly navigation system. And they walked and walked. On such a day, they reach a place called Mara. They did not have water. Their water had finished. All the things that they had brought with themselves in order to eat, it had finished. And so they are in a desert. There is nothing. At this point in time, there is no man. There is only the cloud of glory that's accompanying them. And there is the fire of Hashem that at night, it's apparent for them to see their way through. But at this point, there is no water and there is no man. And it's 15 days later. 15 days later, they are thirsty. And they start complaining to Moshe Rabbeinu. And they say, what do they say? What do they say?
Why did you take us out of Egypt?
It's very appropriate that actually today it rained. Very, very appropriate. I have no complaint about this rain. Exactly. So what were they saying? What were they saying? Yeah. Why did you take us out of Egypt? At least we had food there. At least we had water there. At least we had a space there. Here we don't have anything. We are in the middle of a desert. We have no water. We have no food. Mind you, they had gone through a whole year of miracles with the plagues. They had gone through the Red Sea opening for them. It was the miracles of the miracles. It's a week after the Red Sea has opened, a week after they have seen the miracle of Hashem in their hand, and here they are and saying, what have you done with us? We are in the middle of desert with nothing. Exactly. What am I going to do with these miracles? We need water to survive. We need food to eat. And so they reached this place called Mara. Mara is because it's bitter. There was water, they found water, but the water was bitter. What are they going to do with bitter water? Talch. Yeah, bitter water. And so here is Moshe, having taken out 2 million people with him, and there is no water, and they reach to a place that's bitter water. There is water, but it's bitter. They can't have it. So, what does God command Moshe to do? That's another time, not this time. That's another time. There is 3 times which there is no water. This is the first time. And the first time they reach it, there is water, but it's bitter. It's bitter water.
It's a plant that you have to put in the water and then the water turns sweet.
That's right. There was a tree. Hashem says, take this tree, dip it in this water, and the water will turn sweet. So Hashem takes this tree, Moshe takes this tree, which was not a tree. Where do you get a tree in a desert? It was rather a bush, really. You take it, he takes it, he puts it in the water, and it turns sweet.
You mean from the root he take it out?
No.
He takes that. Allah, I don't know. دیگه روتش بوده. And actually it's a good act. That's a very good question, because there are different rabbis who say, what was this tree? What was it? Did he take it from the root? Was it that he dipped the root in there? Was it that he dipped the branch in there? Because all of it makes a difference. Because there is, in depth of it, it's giving us a lesson. So we have water. Water is the blessings that we have in our life. Yes, it's the blessings. It's the blessings that we have in our life. But a lot of times, our water, and this is today, by the way. Today, we reach at this place, and today Moshe takes the tree and puts it in water, and this gives us the access. It gives us the access to take a tree, and we're going to go into this in a moment, to take the tree and dip it in the bitter waters of our lives. So each one of us, no matter where we have been, no matter where in our path we are, no matter how old we are, we have blessings, but at the same time, the blessings can be covered in bitterness. They are not necessarily sweet. They are not necessarily drinkable. And so what do we do with that? What do we do with the bitterness of our lives that has embedded in it the blessings? God says, dip the tree in the water. Dip the tree in the bitterness. And what is that tree? So there are many different explanations, but one explanation, which is the highest of explanations, which encompasses all the other explanations, is that this tree was the tree of life. If we are able to take the tree of life and dip it into the bitterness of our circumstances, the bitterness of the blessing that's covered, the bitterness that covers the blessing, that's not drinkable. If we are able to take that tree of life and dip it into the water, then we are able to drink it. Not only does it turn sweet, but we are able to drink it, and it will become a sustenance for our life. That bitterness itself, the very thing that is bitter itself, will become the sustenance for our lives. So what is tree of life? What is it? How do we explain tree of life?
خوبی بدی و بالا پایینی تو زندگی که هست آفودان
But so what is the tree of life?
I think
It's fast and changed.
wisdom. Just use our wisdom.
Emunah. Okay, emunah, wisdom, patience. Emunah, wisdom, patience. Okay. I want you to hold this thought. Okay? Hold this thought, the tree of life. Hold the thought. We're going to come back to it. I'm going to go to completely something else now. Hopefully, we'll bring it all together. Month of Iyar is every day. It's almost like a mini holiday because we are counting the Omer. And every day has a special significance to it. If we are connected to it, we can touch upon it. 18th of Iyar is Lag BaOmer. But also from the second night of Passover till Lag BaOmer, there is no celebration. Why? Because of Rabbi Akiva's students. He had 24,000 students. He had the biggest academy that there was, and the highest academy. And these were very wise, very bright students of Rabbi Akiva. 24,000 of them die in a plague. And
How they die?
all within in a plague. There is a plague and they all die. 24,000 of them. Now there has been in history, and also, so therefore, because it's during this time, Holocaust Memorial Day is at this time. They instilled it at this time, and but then also we have Yom HaZikaron. We have a lot of things going on in month of Iyar. There is Israel Independence Day in month of Iyar. But I want to talk about Rabbi Akiva's students. We have to understand that Rabbi Akiva was at the same level of Moshe Rabbeinu, if not higher.
Moshe Rabbeinu reached 38 level of heaven, he reached 40. Nobody got to 40.
So Rabbi Akiva, I don't like to say anybody is higher than Moshe. Yeah, well, okay. So there was a certain level of wisdom, not only wisdom, but the level of his soul, and his teaching was love your neighbor as you love yourself. That was his teaching. So how is it possible that 24,000 of his students passed away? Later, he comes back, he finds 5 students, and with these 5 students, he makes another academy. Who is one of the 5? Rabbi Shimon Bar Chai, who is the whole, the Kabbalah, the Zohar, everything comes through him. So what happened? What happened with Rabbi Akiva's student? They were on a very, very, very high level. What happened to Rabbi Akiva's students that 24,000 of them died?
Because each of them knows that he knows and he's better than the other one, although it was mutual respect and knowledge between them, but in a higher ground, it's spiritually, they thought each of them, they thought that they are better than their other colleagues.
وقتی با هم درس میخوندن و بحث میکردن میخواستن که عقیده خودشون رو right about this تحمیل بکنن. They love one another, but they love Torah so much, they wanted to teach. یعنی یه حالته که my way or no way بودن. واسه همین argument بینشون پیش میامد. اختلاف عقیده بینشون پیش میامد.
Yeah, they're both right. So there were these 24,000 students, they each had a partner. That's why it says 12,000 peers passed away. It's like there were 12,000 couples because they each had a partner, and every day they would study with their partner. And because of the love that they had for each other, each person understood something in a slightly different way. If I taste the celery, if I'm able to explain exactly what the celery tastes in my mouth, my taste might be a little bit different, just a tiny bit different than your taste, just because of our chemical makeup. But because I love you so much, I want to tell you, no, this is what you should be tasting. What you're tasting might be incorrect. Your taste, slightly ever so different. Your taste, you should be tasting it this way because I love you. Because I want you to taste what I am tasting. I want you to take pleasure in what I'm taking pleasure. I want you to see things the way I am seeing things. Not because I don't love you, because I love you, I want to force that upon you. Because I love you. But there was one element that was missing here, and that was the element of individuality. The element of total and absolute respect for the individuality of the person. Going to the month of Omer, what are we doing? We are counting the day. The day. And each day is just as important as the day before. Whether it's day 1 or whether it's day 50th where we reach Shavuot. But unless we can't walk the one day, we are not able to reach the 50th day. So each day unto itself is very important. So we bless the day and we bless the week. Shavuot, it's the weeks. It's the holiday of the weeks. So there is that idea of individuality, of singularity, and then the idea of whole, of togetherness, of community, of melding into each other, of being into in each other's space. And so the whole month, okay, now the 3 months in the Torah, the only months that is said, month 1, month 2, month 3, is regarding month of Nisan, month of Iyar, and month of Sivan. It's regarding these 3 months. And so month of Nisan is when we left Egypt. Month of Iyar is when we are walking towards Mount Sinai. And month of Sivan is when we received the Torah. But let's look at the progression. Let's look at the progression. Month of Nisan, the mazal for month of Nisan is a lamb. What is a lamb? What is the personality of a lamb?
Listen to people. Submissive.
Submissive, docile, go with the herd. Yeah? Go with the herd. Follower. Everyone's together. You put one sheep into one herd, they all follow, like they put their heads on and follow. It's being part of a group. It's being part of a whole. That's month of Nisan, and that's what we did. We were part of a whole. We moved together. We came out together. It's to have that characteristic, to know that the whole is important. We are part of a whole. We are part of a community. I am identified through that wholeness. I am identified through that community. Then comes month of Iyar. What's the mazal for month of Iyar? It's an ox. It's sure, an ox. The ox are not in herds. Ox, bull. It's a bull. میشه اینا که شاخ دارن و گاو وحشی. They are not in herds. They are not docile. If anything, it's individuality, right? برای خودشونن. It's individuality. There is a lot of power there. The sun is coming out. There is a lot. Aggressiveness. Well, let's look at it. Let's look at it. The ox is able to plow a whole land. A sheep cannot do that. An ox can do that. If we are able to channel the energy of the ox in the right way, it's able to plow land. It's able to have a lot accomplished, but it needs to be channeled. It needs to be put in the right direction. And then month of Sivan is what? What is the mazal of month of Sivan? Is twins. Is twins. Is when we are able to bring these opposite forces of community, follower, and then individuality, harnessing the strength of one individual, harnessing the power, the koach, really, the koach of one individual into the right direction, and combining it, we get the month of Sivan. It's the twins. And so it is to be able to say that each individual is an entity unto itself. Each individual brings something into this place that no other individual can bring. And your understanding of something is very different than my understanding of something, and both can be correct. Both can be correct. And it is to be able to respect that, because the individual is an entity unto itself. To be able to have respect for it. So it is this dynamic of love and respect. Sometimes we are able to love someone but not respect them. And sometimes we are able to respect them but not love them. And so it is to bring these two opposite forces of love and respect together. Love is not enough in a relationship. What we were taught through Rabbi Akiva's students, they loved each other, but they forgot to respect each other. They forgot to respect the individual as an entity unto itself. There is no better or worse. We need to have both. We need to have both. In a relationship, both needs to exist. Your individuality as who you are, but at the same time as the whole. As you stand as the whole, as what you give to the whole. And so this is to be able to bring these two opposite forces together of love and respect. One of the great tzaddikim, I don't recall his name right now, but he said, I'm sure many of you have heard this, and maybe you know who said it. If I am I, because you are you, and you are you because I am I, then I don't exist and you don't exist. But if I am I, because I am I, and you are you because you are you, then I exist and you exist. And so, right?
Wrote these two ways.
Yes.
Road is too big.
Yes. Yes. But if I'm imposing myself on you and you are imposing yourself on me, I'm neither myself nor you are yourself.
Neither men should respect each other.
It's not even about that. It's not even about that. It's about, yeah, it's that's one level of it. But at a very subtle level, it's to respect wherever each person is at in their life, wherever they are at. And, our level of understanding differs. Our taste bud differs. The way we are present for our circumstances differs. Nobody can walk in a place of somebody else because there is no way to know what the dynamic of that person's life is like. We just take a snapshot of someone when we see them outside. And for example, if they are sad, we take a snapshot in that moment and we say, oh, they are sad. That's it. They are sad. They are labeled. And if we see them happy and frivolous, in که اصلا خیالش نیست, right? We take a snapshot. We take a snapshot and we label the person as they are. But we can never walk in somebody else's circumstances and know exactly what the dynamics are. And so this level of respect in month of Iyar, it's all respect and also introspection. It's not only respect for someone else also. It's respect for yourself. It's love and respect for ourselves. For where we have been, the choices we have made, to have respected where we were at, and to respect where we are going.
Even if we do mistake, everybody has mistake. You have to love ourselves.
I'm not saying, okay, so with the mind that you had then, that's the decision you made then. You are here now. Your knowledge is different than what it was 5 years ago. With the knowledge that you have now, you make different choices. And so it's to respect where you were at 5 years ago with the knowledge that you had 5 years ago.
What about in a relationship where you want to help the other person grow, like with your children? So, I mean, you want to challenge them and show them where they have their weaknesses. So it's not like accepting them just the way they are.
Absolutely, yeah.
Show them where
There is absolutely a fine line with that. We should not be sitting back and saying, I respect you, whatever you're doing. With parenting, it's a little bit different because with respect comes the idea of gevura, and with gevura comes discipline. So they are all on the same line of, so for example, respecting God is different than loving God. There is a level of awe for Hashem. And so that awe is different than the pure love that flows from the heart. There are two different entities, and both is necessary. And so for children as well, it comes through, it's to say, this is not okay, and then stand back. The boundaries that they need to have in their life. And the boundaries continuously change as they are growing. It's not a constant.
About your children, or are you asking about another adult?
Well, even with another adult, sometimes we have to help them grow. Like we see they're making bad decisions one after the other.
Children and adult is different.
Right.
Children, we need to set boundaries. We need to let them know what the boundaries are, and boundaries change as they are growing. Adults, we cannot. The only thing we can do is be the example that we want to be.
but the same way we are talking about respect and love. If you are trying to guide or teach another adult,
Right.
as you said, do it respectfully and do it from heart, then it would be effective. But if it's not respectful, and it also have to be private. You cannot say it in a group. Private, out of heart, respectfully. So this would apply for adults, in my opinion.
Yeah, exactly my thought. Not in front of other people. They feel bad. They feel
Embarrassed.
Right.
You know.
Look,
Individually,
even-
you can talk to them with respect.
Talking.
At the right time. It has to be right timing. They have to be willing to hear you. They have to have open ear for you.
They have to be ready to receive what you have to give them,
And
otherwise it's a waste of.
Not
And
only is it a
from
waste,
heart.
but it's an insult.
From
It
heart.
comes
If
as an
it's just
insult to
from,
them.
Self-preserve or because you are wrong, I'm right. It's not gonna work. It has to be from heart to heart.
Okay.
Go ahead. These days you
Good
cannot even
advice.
tell your children.
I miss that.
Miguel, you cannot even tell your children what to do these days. Yeah.
When you say children, how old are they when they're children, and then how old are they when you don't set boundaries?
Well, I'm kind of working with that myself. You know, I think once, I think we always need to let our kids know what is important to us. Even today, with my older kids, I say, I know you don't want to hear me, but listen to what I have to say. This is what's important to me. Just want you to know what's important to me. I'm not telling you what to do, what not to do. But this would break my heart absolutely if you did this. Or I would be so happy if you did this. This is our family dynamic. This is what I think. This is the way. And then just leave it as that. And to my younger daughter, of course, there are boundaries. So it all depends where, what, who the child is, what they're willing to hear, when they are willing to hear. You know, all of these dynamics play a role. So going back to respect and love. And this is so important. I want to go back to the tree of life. The love and respect that we have for our own selves and for our own life. Until we don't respect our life, until we don't respect where we have been in life, until we don't even respect the mistakes that we have made in life, because if we recognize the mistake, then we know what we did wrong and we are able to do something different about it. We are not bound to the mistake. We are not bound to it. We can choose differently. We can do something else. We can think differently. We can act differently. And so respecting where we have been in life. And that's where Tree of Life comes in. The Tree of Life brings all aspects of our life together. There is nothing that's separate. There is no separation, actually. That's what Tree of Life is. There is no separation. There is no separation between you as a child to you. You know, sometimes we say it's as if though it was another lifetime. It feels so far-fetched where our life has been, especially for us, a lot of us who we left Iran, and it feels like a completely different lifetime. But it's us. It's to be able to integrate all aspects of our life together. It's that integration, and that's really the Tree of Life. When we are able to dip that Tree of Life, the Tree of Life is also the wisdom of Torah, the wisdom of godliness, the wisdom of knowingness, the wisdom of connectedness, when we are able to dip that into the water, the bitter waters of our life, then it's only then and only then that it can turn sweet. And it is only then that we can drink of that water and have it be a sustenance for our life. Today, when Moshe did that, God tells Moshe that if you listen to me, I will bring you many blessings. And I want you to know that I am your healer. Ani Hashem Rufecha, which is the acronym for month of Iyar. That Hashem is the healer. So, what is healing really? What is healing?
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. That's very important. What else?
Something that you do from within yourself. I mean, nobody can imply it. You have to do it yourself. You have to bring it out from within you. You work on it. Nobody else.
To know you gave your best in the situation.
Listen to somebody.
I say total physical and mental health.
So what is that?
Total
What is
health?
healing?
Healing means from
Serenity.
to get to that state of total health, physical and mental health. The process.
The process.
The process.
The process of getting to physical health, mental health, emotional health,
Dealing with your problem.
dealing with your problems.
And you don't be worried about anything on here. Very general.
Give it over very general.
We put lion food.
Uh-huh.
Hakuna Matata.
Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
I'm a driver and you are the passenger seat, and put your seat belts. I know what do I take you.
I want to also add spiritual, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional.
Right. Right.
Even spiritual healing is important.
So why does Hashem say, I am your healer? What is that?
You listen to me, you follow me, I take care of you.
Okay, I'm coming over.
Basically, that's it.
Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me.
You have to believe, you have to have emunah, trust.
Anybody else?
I think God gave us all these powers is within us. We have to just reach it and get to it, but it doesn't mean that it's easy. You have to transform yourself, as Marka said, spiritually, physically, mentally, all these things, combination of everything that makes you free from within. And this is that you have to do to yourself, nobody else can do. Maybe they can support you in that path, but you do it. You have to do it yourself.
I also have something else to say. Health, let's say health, is relevant. My health and it's has different meaning to your health. Complete health to them. Or I would say harmony is more like it. I see one soldier doesn't have a leg yet, he is playing basketball. You know, it's something within yourself too. The harmony that you are fine, you're okay with everything. That's healing.
So there is an aspect of balance, harmony.
Balance and harmony.
And it's also continuous because every day you are encountering a new situation. So
Right.
you are
At different age,
you
have different
continue
things, right?
healing in a different way.
Correct. Yes.
You might even regress in healing. It's continuous.
What is it? Yes.
Going
Going backwards.
You feel worse one day, the next day.
So the month of Omer, we count the Omer. Somehow healing is associated with counting. Now let's understand what that means. It doesn't really mean count 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's understand what that means, and I hope I can bring it together. The word for counting the Omer comes from sapir, which is sapir is a sapphire. Thank you. It's sapphire. It is when we are able to. And by the way, the sense of the month is thought. Thought. It is when we are able to, as you said, Marijun, look within. It's the digging. It's the digging that we need to do. And day by day, chip away at the husk that has been sitting at our heart, that has been sitting at our mind, that takes away from our agility, that takes away from our movement, that takes away from our power, that takes away from our strength. It is to chip away from that husk day by day and to reveal the sapphire, the sapphire that's within each and every single one of us. It is then and only then that when we reach Mount Sinai, we can receive the Torah again.
So you mean they should be pure to receive the Torah?
Okay. Did I say pure? That's how, no. We are chipping. Look, there are many things in our lives that makes us stand back. There are many things in our life that makes us feel small. There are many, and this is not to do labeling it as holy or unholy. Ani Hashem Rufecha, I am Hashem who is your healer. There is that level of soul that is connected to Hashem, and if we are able to reveal it, if you're able to bring it out, then it's like an ox. Just imagine the ox and imagine that you are channeling it. You have a rope on the ox, and the ox has a lot of power. It has a lot of movement. And it is to make us be out of our stuckness. It is for us to look within. Where am I, number one? Where am I not moving? Where am I stagnant? What am I thinking that is making me be stagnant? And it is a day by day process. It is in that count that we are able to chisel away from the husk, from the covering that sits at our hearts and covers or fogs our thoughts. Because within that, there is a sapphire that needs to be revealed. And when the sapphire is revealed, that's healing. That's health. Because when you know who you are, when you know your purpose, when you have put the tree of life into the circumstances of your life, whatever the circumstances are, when you're able to change and transform the bitterness of your life into sweetness, whatever the circumstances are, whatever the situation is. When we are able to do that, and we are moving with this core that nobody can take away from us, it's the core that's been given to us by Hashem himself. I am Hashem, your healer. This is our core that has been given to us by Hashem himself. And each individual is a step to the whole. Each individual is one to the whole. You bring something into the whole that there is no way I can bring it. Each one of us brings something to the whole, and being aware of that which we bring to the whole, respecting that, loving that, and at the same time loving the other person who we sit opposite us, and respecting the other person. It is this aspect of individuality, of singularity. The day matters. Each day of Omer matters. It counts. It matters. Mm-hmm.
I have a question. I mean, when you have a problem, and that problem won't let you go. I mean, this is one of the things that is banging day by day. And you think there is a solution for that makes you whole. But in another way, you cannot have 100% control on that.
Mm-hmm.
What's the solution? You tell to yourself, okay, I will submit to the will of God. That's what He wants, and I submit to that. Or you find another solution for that maybe is not the way that you thought.
Mm-hmm.
What's the solution for that?
Okay, so there is always this balance. We always need to be, and we don't know what the balance is sometimes, but we always need to be walking with this balance of Netzach and Hod. And we always, in order to walk, we need to put right leg and then left leg. Right leg, left leg. That's just how the walk is. But right leg is Netzach. And Netzach is it's like victory. It's like I'm imposing myself on you, or I'm imposing myself on this world. I'm imposing myself. It's like taking a step, taking a stand, taking authority, letting know the authority to yourself, first of all, that I am taking a stand. But then you need to move forward, and then the left leg needs to come in. And the left leg is where there is submission and surrender. So these two aspects must always be together, where there is Netzach and Hod. But first is the Netzach. First is taking a stand. First is taking your place in this situation, in this world, on this earth. It's to make known, I'm here. Here it is. It's that victory. And then you do your thing, and then it's Hod. It's submission,
Glory,
surrender.
Hod means glory. So
Yeah, there is Hod is also surrender. Hod comes from the word Hodah. Hod is also humility, and within humility there is surrender. There is gratitude. There is thankfulness. There is a place of standing back and just letting things be. Yeah, yeah, and so it's humility comes from that space of surrender.
I think it also makes a difference if the problem is with somebody else or something from outside or within yourself. Because within yourself you have the power to change it, but if it's somebody else, then that's really beyond your control. So.
But that's the walk, whether it's within ourselves or whether it's within somebody else, that's the walk. The walk is Netzach Hod, Netzach Hod, Netzach Hod.
At the end, if you feel that the outcome is not the way that you want it, and you submit to that, you have to accept it.
Absolutely. That's it.
That's
You surrender to it. You surrender to it.
So I have to add, when you are in dark place, be open to the love and support people surrounding you are giving you. When she's talking about the walk, just imagine somebody is holding your hand from here and help you with the walk. Accept it and take it as much as you could. Support is very, very important.
Very.
You know, this whole 3 months is about this balance. It's about the balance of godliness versus earthliness. It's about the balance of wholeness versus individuality. It's the balance of physicality versus spirituality. And it's the dynamic of bringing these together. It's the integration of all these opposites. And healing comes when we are able to bring all of these opposites. And that's a very good example of Netzach Hod, where, you know, Moshe Rabbeinu is Netzach. He is victory. He made his stand. He went to Paro. He said, let my people go. Even though in the beginning he didn't want to do it. But here, that's where healing comes. In the beginning, Moshe had a lisp. He stuttered. But it was only in the beginning. Because once he was connected to this, once he was connected to his core, he did not stutter anymore. Only in the beginning he stuttered. And he went and he told to Paro, let my people go, make a stand. The rest, what happens to it, God controlled it, but he had to be there. He had to make a stand. He had to go to Paro. He had to say, let my people, he had to physically stand there. And then what happened after that, it was guided by Hashem. He made Paro's heart stubborn, right? But Moshe had to take a stand. So Moshe is Netzach. In order for us, it is this dynamic of making a stand and then having the humility to stand back and surrender to it. Making a stand and having a humility. It's these opposite forces continuously coming together. It is a month of great brilliance this month. It's the month of Ziv, which comes from a certain light that is a brilliant light. And if we are able, through our thought, through our introspection, through checking ourselves and seeing where are we fogged, where are we husked, where in our heart we are husked, where in our thoughts we are husked, and removing those barriers little by little, every single day, chisel by chisel, then we are able to be in that place where we are fully and completely healed from all elements, whether it's spiritual, physical, mental, and emotional. And then we start the cycle over again, and we become hostile again, and we become, but that's our humanity, and that's who we are. But it is possible for us to get there. It's a possibility. And with that, we go forth with that individuality, with that power of an ox, to really take that power of an ox and look within. Take that power and know that strength is there. But harness it, channel it in the right direction. And so this is where we are at. This is the Rosh Chodesh that we are at. Changing Mara waters, bitter waters, تلخ آبای تلخ زندگیمونو change it into sweet through our thought, through who we are, through being connected to the whole, which is the Jewish people. It's in a few days we celebrate the state of Israel, but also know that each individual plays a big role in the whole. Each individual brings something that nobody else can bring it. And respecting that, respecting yourself, and respecting each other. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Parvana June.